Hi there, and welcome to the Bon Accord online whisky shop. My name's Maria. I'm here to tell you a wee bit about our malt of the month, which is the Highland Park 12 years. There we are. Now, some of you may know that my big brother Thomas recently got married, and I had the great fortune of visiting Orkney to witness the wedding, and whilst I was there I received a fantastic tour at Highland Park Distillery. Honestly, it was just a fabulous day and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did have to take my dad along with me, but it didn't cramp my style too much, so that was okay, I suppose. And I allowed my husband Gary to come along, but I was hoping that he would be the cameraman and I would be able to film my blog up there at the distillery. But you know how it goes. A few too many drams and too much fun, and before you know it, the day runs away with you and it was too late to shoot the video. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to do this the old boring way, just me going on about the whisky. I hope I don't bore you too much. And if you are interested in seeing any of the pictures or getting any of the information that I took in from the distillery, then I will include a wee written blog later on for you to look at. So, to begin with, as I mentioned before, Highland Park Distillery is situated in Kirkwall in Orkney, and it's classed as an island distillery. Its history is said to date back to Magnus Unison, who was a smuggler who smuggled spirits and whisky into the islands, and also lived in a bothy in High Park, which is the site where the distillery sits today. And he's said to have had an illicit still up there. But the distillery didn't actually start producing whisky legally until 1824. When it was founded by Robert Borwick. Today, Highland Park classes itself as a very traditional distillery, and they say that they have 5 keystones to success. The first being that they still use hand malting for quite a lot of their barley. They don't produce all of their own barley, but they do still practice hand floor malting. And I did actually get to give this a wee try when I was at the distillery. It was a good laugh, but it really was hard work, thirsty work, so the whisky went down a treat after that. The second keystone would be the sweet heathery peat that they use. Now, the peat is harvested from Hollister Moor and is said to be over 4,000 years old. And because of the vegetation in Orkney, it's got quite a lot of heather and sweet plants like that, so the peat that's produced as a result is lovely, sweet and heathery on top, and then you've got the deeper, darker stuff at the bottom. They use different layers at different parts of the process to create the whisky that you love today. Then we have the cool maturation process. Orkney has a temperate climate, which apparently means it's not too hot and not too cold. That is not my experience, for when I was up at the wedding it was freezing and really windy. But hey, who am I to judge? I live in Glasgow. Then they say that the quality of the sherry casks is a big contributing factor in the flavour of the whisky. They season all their Spanish oak casks with sherry, and this imparts lovely flavours into the dram. And finally, Highland Park pride themselves in their harmonisation process. So each batch of Highland Park whisky will be drawn from different casks, and then they will be married together for a further 6 months to ensure the proper marriage of the spirits together and that Highland Park taste that we've come to love. Well, I certainly love it. So I learned loads and loads at the distillery. We had a good time, we had a good laugh, and I've got loads of information I could pass on to you, but I don't really want to bore you too much. So I think we should just go on to the good bit, which you all know what it is, and that is actually tasting the whisky. We'll give it a wee nose first. Now, our tour guide at Highland Park says that his favourite part of drinking whisky is actually sitting there for a good wee while amongst friends and taking a nose of his whisky. said it's a process not to be rushed, and I totally agree with him. Now, this just really is a gorgeous, gorgeous whisky, guys. Lovely. Now on the nose, it's quite floral. It's all that heather coming through. The sweetness of honey there. I'm actually getting a wee light note of citrus. And then you've got that gentle sweet peat smoke. Delicious. It's sweet, very smooth, dangerously nice to drink. You get a slight herbal note in there. Not quite sure what it is. Then you've got that fruity citrus note again. It's quite sweet and smoky. Not overpoweringly so. That lovely sweetness, the peat, and the subtle woody smokiness lingers there on the palate for quite a while. And just when you think it's burning off and it's leaving you, you're left with quite a tongue coating flavour of fennel. It's subtle, but it stays with you there for a while. It's a lovely warming drink. You could happily sit there of an evening and have a few Highland Parks. It really is lovely. Now, for me, Highland Park will always be special now, because for me it represents one of the happiest days of my big brother's life. And that certainly is something to drink to, isn't it? So, I'd like you all to raise your glass to the new Mr. and Mrs. McDonough. Cheers. And I hope they have a lovely life together. I've enjoyed toasting this wee dram to them. And maybe you will too, as it's available now as our Malt of the Month on the shop. Cheers guys, thanks for listening. Bye bye now.